second. Hold on. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Activate Your Abundance. This is your host, Shefali Burns. Thank you so much for being with us today. And we have a special guest today, Bernadette Wulf, and she's going to be talking about money magic, which is really exciting because money is something that we're all quite fascinated with, and some of us are having challenges. So it's called Money Magic, Prosperity in Your Hands. And for those of you who don't know, let me tell you a little bit about Bernadette. She's the author of Money Magic, 90 Days to Prosperity in Your Hands. And Bernadette is a lifelong artist with a focus on inspirational visionary art, and she has created some beautiful work. I've seen it on her website. I haven't gotten around to getting one of my own yet, but I will. Never one to do things in the conventional way. She has studied cutting-edge energy modalities for healing body, mind, and soul, and has been a law of attraction coach and EFT therapist since the mid-90s. Faced with financial struggle at one point, she worked with law of attraction and the teachings of Abraham Hicks to manifest an abundant life, chronicling her process in her popular book, Money Magic, 90 Days to Prosperity in Your Life. She's also a naturopath, Reiki master, and founder of Faye Hallows School of Magic, offering a magical law of attraction email course based on Celtic mystery wisdom. So welcome to the show, Bernadette.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful. I hope I said Faye Hallows right. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Wonderful. So for our listeners, because I was already telling Bernadette, because we were having some technical difficulties before we started, but I said we already have people with their hands raised. So for those of you on Instant Teleseminar, you can hit *2 to raise your hand, or you can submit questions on the Q&A. For those of you watching on Google Plus or YouTube, you can submit questions on the Q&A thingamajiggy. Just type, just click on it and submit your questions that way. All right, so Bernadette, tell us a little bit about yourself and especially about money magic.
Well, I'm a light worker, and I feel like money needs to be put in the hands of light workers because we're the ones that are going to do good things with it. And I've known so many people over the years who are doing wonderful healing work and teaching work and artistic work, and they're struggling financially, and they don't seem to understand that we need money too, in order to do the work we're doing. So I really am on a mission to get money transferred to the hands of light workers so that we can heal this planet and improve the world and create social justice and all the wonderful things we're trying to do that require money.
Absolutely, and it's so true that so many of us light workers, we have a great calling, we have a passion, we have fire, there's so much that we want to do, we have great healing abilities, but then somehow the money doesn't flow. So why is that, do you think?
Well, a lot of it's, different reasons for different people, but a lot of it's because we feel like some of us feel like we don't deserve it, some of us feel like we've made vows of poverty in past lives, some of us feel like it's not spiritual to, have money. Some of us are looking at the way that people have created money through destroying the environment and exploiting other people, and they've used ruthless ways to get money, and we don't want to be associated with that. We don't want people to think we're like that, that's how we got money. So there's a lot of different reasons that come in to kind of block the flow of money in our lives, and it's really about having a positive feeling when we think about money, which I learned from Abraham Hicks. They had a quote, something about, how do you feel when you think about money? Does it give you an uplifted, happy feeling, or does it give you this kind of feeling of dread and heaviness, And as soon as I read that quote, I realized I had that sinking feeling every time I thought about money, and I knew I had to change that. So I created this 90-day process that I wrote about in my book, and totally shifted my feeling about money and my relationship with money, and ever since then I've never worried about it at all. And before, it was this constant struggle and worry and thinking, feeling. So yeah, I just changed the way I feel about it and made
So,
friends,
is
basically.
it that easy? Do we just have to change the way we feel about money? It sounds easy when you say it like that. It's like, oh, I just changed how I feel about money. But is it really that
It
easy?
really is, yeah. I mean, it takes some work because we have all these ingrained ideas about it and false beliefs, so we have to work on changing those. But once we do, and we have a different relationship with money where we're happy to see it, we're happy to think about it, we're happy to have it around, and then it comes, you know. It's like
Hmm.
we're holding it off by having all these negative feelings about it.
Okay, so can we talk a little bit about some of the negative feelings? Because I was thinking about this before our show, and I was thinking about some of my negative feelings or some of, you know, how I've thought about money in the past growing up, and I was thinking about, okay, what was money like in my life? So I know we were going to talk about that during this call and show today, but it really got me thinking. It's like, my mother worked really, really hard all her life, like really, really hard. Um, just got by, right? She worked really, really hard and just got by. And my dad tried to do certain things, never really succeeded.
Yeah.
So he was never successful. So it's like, so of
Uh-huh.
course, when I was growing up, I never asked for anything because, there was no money to ask for anything, right?
Right.
And so then when I had my kids, I gave them everything. I never said no ever, right? I gave because I was never able to ask for anything, and if I did, I probably would have gotten the answer no. But I never did. So my kids, I did the exact opposite. I gave them everything. I still give them everything. If they come to me, they know that I never say no, right? which which means also that I don't have any boundaries. Or I'm lacking in the boundary department. I need to shore up those boundaries a little bit. So is that kind of what you're talking about? Is that those feelings of, having to work hard, never having enough or just enough, only
Yeah.
having enough, never having that extra, and all
Right.
and then overcompensating by giving, giving, giving.
Hmm.
You,
Right.
you should look at my credit card bill. It's like, okay, I should stop that giving and really control it a little bit, because it's like, okay, you have to be realistic and practical. You can't just give from something that you don't have, right? But abundance is
Right.
supposed to be abundant everywhere, available for everybody, right? There's no lack or limit to it. So how how do you want to talk about this?
Well, the thing about giving is that it it has to be in balance, and I think if we totally believe that we live in an abundant universe with unlimited resources, then we don't have to feel like we can't give when we want to. I mean, yeah, it is one thing to have boundaries, and your children also need to learn that they can manifest things for themselves.
Hmm.
So it's important to not be an enabler, but also to teach them that anything they want they can have if they just align themselves with it vibrationally. So you can't talk in those terms to children, but you can say, when you're happy, the things you want will come to you.
Mm.
And it's all about aligning with joy and being happy about money, being happy about prosperity, being happy to feel in the flow of this universal abundance.
Okay, so how now, because we're talking to not kids, we're talking to adults, and some of these people, they know about vibration and energy and alignment, so they understand what we're talking about. But so how can we align vibrationally with abundance and joy, in your opinion? I mean, I talk to so many people about this, and everybody is a slightly different take on it, right? Or slightly different process to it.
Yeah, the way it worked for me was that I decided I was going to make friends with money because I really wasn't. I grew up in a similar situation to you where my parents they came through the Depression. They had this mindset that there wasn't ever enough. We had to clip coupons, and there were 10 kids in our family, so it was always like, hand-me-downs and making sure that there was enough food on the table. So I grew up feeling like money was tight, and I had to change that by just constantly telling myself, no, I live in an abundant universe. There's plenty of money out there. I just need to align with it. So the process I did was just, taking a couple of bills. I had $5 bills, but you could have any denomination you want, and making them my personal friends. I mean, I carried them around with me. I put them in bed with me. I did everything, and created this little relationship with them, and talked to them and drew little faces on them, and just to give myself a different feeling about what money was all about, and to make it fun, because money had always been this serious thing in my life, and I had to take that seriousness out of it and just let it be a playful, fun thing, so I wasn't attached to having it or not having it, and feeling like it was this heavy thing I needed to work hard to get.
Yeah, and I read that in your book because I had purchased your book last month or a month ago, and I read that and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I never thought about making friends with your money,
Yeah.
And to constantly have it with you and talk to the money and things like that. I'd never heard that before, so that was totally new. I was always told, keep money in your wallet, keep money, everywhere, but I never was told to have that kind of interaction and engagement and relationship with money.
Yeah, and it kind of behaves like a person, the way you talk about it, the way you think about it. I mean, just think of, the way a lot of people think about money. It's like, I want to be a millionaire so I'll never have to think about money again. Imagine if that was a person in your life and you're like, yeah, I want to get you settled in my life so I never have to think about you again, Would they stick around? No. It has to be something where you're welcoming it all the time and in a relationship with it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like that, because it's true. Money just comes and goes, but we're not making friends with it. We're not making it one of our best friends who we talk to all the time. I'm so bad at that anyway. I don't talk to enough of my friends enough. But still, luckily, they're still with me. Okay, so you said you wanted to do kind of some coaching questions with me about money and prosperity.
Yeah, and do you feel like you're blocked in some way, or like you're not where you'd like to be with money in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I was thinking about this before the call, and I was thinking, like I have enough, so, but it's just enough. It's like it's never extra, so it's like I would like to be at a point where I don't have to worry about having enough. I don't have to worry about taking classes or courses that I want to take because I don't have the money,
Yeah.
or being able to go on training in different parts of the world, freely without worrying about, oh, I don't have the money for the airfare or the hotel and things like that. It's like I would like to have a bit more freedom with that so that I can, because for me it's about self-development and growth and all these things that I'd like to do and take for myself and to meet some of these wonderful teachers and speakers that I have on my summits. I would love to meet them in person, take their events, go to their events, and build a rapport that way too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so no, I don't I don't want to say I don't have enough. I have enough. I'd like to have more. I'm not at that place where I'm free. I feel free to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah. So, what do you think is in the way of you having enough money to do all these, travel and have seminars and all the things that you'd like to do?
I was thinking about that too. I think it's visibility. I still feel like I'm invisible. I'm not visible enough. I still feel like I'm invisible for all the things that I would like to contribute to the world and to society.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I can find all you people. That's great, but nobody can find me.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the things that I'm working on to become more visible. But it's an energetic visibility. It's not just me being on screen, right? It's more of when people see me, do they really see me and connect with me, or do they just ignore me? It's like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, and not everybody.
I'm really being vulnerable here, guys. I'm really, really being vulnerable.
So, if people were to see you, how would that feel? Do you really want them to see you? Or would that make you feel even more vulnerable?
That would make me feel even more vulnerable. But I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to do that. Not but, and I'm willing to do that.
Is there a part of you that's not allowing that to happen? That it really wants to hide and not be seen?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, there is.
So if you just tune into your body, where do you feel that in your body?
Why do I do this to myself on these shows? I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm feeling it quite strongly in my sacral.
Mm-hmm.
That whole area. That's a very vulnerable area for me.
And how would you describe the way it feels?
It's just saying run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting all goosebumps and stuff, and yeah. It wants to hide. It really does. It's like, okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Would you like to try doing some EFT to clear that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so for anybody who's not done it before, let's just start by describing the tapping points. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's tapping on acupuncture meridians in order to clear the emotional static from whatever's going wrong in our lives. So the first point is right on the inside corner of the eyebrow, and if you feel right where your nose attaches to your eyebrow and press around in there, you'll feel a little tender spot. That's the spot that you tap on. That's an acupuncture point there.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside corner of your eye, right on the bone at the edge of the corner of your eye, you'll feel, now there's like a bone where it's just like the very edge of the bone right at the corner of your eye. Tap right on there. You'll feel a tender spot if you push in there. And then right on the bone, right at the center of your eye underneath, you'll feel a little tender spot there too. And then right in the middle of your upper lip, and then right in the middle of your chin, and then where your collarbone is, you'll feel a notch in the middle, and then on either side there's a bump, and if you go right down below the bump, there's a tender spot on either side.
Why can't I find it on me?
Well, if you feel that notch,
yeah,
and then go to either side, feel the two bumps.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then straight down from that, you'll feel a soft spot there underneath the bone.
Yeah.
That's where you tap. And then under the arm, it's about 6 inches below your armpit, just right in the middle of your side. And if you feel around, you'll feel a tender spot there. And then the very top of your head, straight up from your ears, just right in the center of the top of your head. So those are the tapping points. And let's just start with what we call the karate chop point, and that is on the side of your hand where you karate something. We'll start with tapping that and say, we're going to say this 3 times. First of all, let's figure out on the scale of 1 to 10 how strong this resistance is. So,
it's pretty strong. 7.
Okay. So tap on the side of the hand on the karate chop point. Even though I have this really strong resistance to being seen and being visible, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even if I have this string, okay, that's way too much for me.
Even though I have this really strong resistance.
Even though I have this really strong resistance.
Being seen.
Being seen.
Visible.
Being visible.
I love and accept myself completely.
I love and accept myself completely.
And again, even though I have this really strong resistance.
Even though I have this really strong resistance.
And fear of being visible.
And fear of being visible.
I deeply and completely.
Love
and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
One more time, even though I have this fear.
Even though I have this fear.
Of being seen and being visible.
Of being seen and being visible.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Okay. So now tap on the inside corner of the eyebrow, and you don't have to repeat all these. I'll just throw out some little phrases while you're focusing on that feeling in your sacral.
And everybody can do this, right, at the same time?
Yeah, everybody can tap along, and if you don't feel that same thing, just pick something that's bothering you, that's blocking you from bringing money into your life. So tap on the inside corner of the eyebrow, this feeling of fear of being seen, outside corner of the eye, and you tap firmly, but not hard, but just enough that it feels like firm pressure, about 8 or 10 times. And then on the outside corner of the eyebrow, this fear of being seen, under the eye. I don't know what would happen to me if I was really visible. Middle of the nose, under the upper lip, under the nose. This feeling of being vulnerable. Middle of the chin. What if people judge me for being who I am? Under the collarbone. This fear of being seen and visible in the world. Under the arm. I'm really scared that I might be persecuted. Top of the head. It's going to make noise on my microphone, I think. This feeling of really feeling vulnerable that the world might not accept me. Okay, now take a deep breath and let it out. And tune into that feeling again and see if it's changed on the scale from 1 to 10. Just think of being visible in the world and see if that's gone up or down or stayed the same.
I feel much better. Much better. I'm not feeling anything. So it's like, that's it. That was good.
Okay, so it's gone all the way down to 0?
Yeah, because it was, I'm trying to think if I'm feeling anything. I'm not feeling.
Okay, so imagine.
Maybe a 3. Sorry. Yeah, maybe a 3.
Okay.
I have to tune in, really tune in. Sometimes when you're on these calls, it's hard for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what do you think is still left there that's keeping you feeling vulnerable and afraid of being visible?
I think it's just the reactions from people. Because I know that, when I was younger, I was never allowed to say anything, and I was, even in a past life, I was, persecuted. And as I say that, the energy's coming up for me. Mm-hmm. And so that is still a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not from the previous lifetime, I don't think, but from this lifetime, it was tough that I was never able to really express myself and be who I truly was. I'm getting to be that more and more, but still, it's getting better. It is getting better.
So, so on a scale of 1 to 10, is that still at a 3, or has it gone up since you started talking about it?
No, it hasn't gone up.
Okay. So let's just do the tapping again. Inside corner of the eyebrow, this feeling of being persecuted. Outside corner of the eye. I might have been persecuted in the past. In fact, I think I was. Under the eye. That makes me feel really vulnerable and afraid of expressing myself in a big way. Under the nose. I don't like the feeling of being too visible. People might judge me and persecute me. Middle of the chin. But then I might be judged and persecuted even if I stay small. Under the collarbone. In fact, there's always going to be some people out there who are going to judge me. Under the arm. So what the heck, I might as well just be as big as I can be and shine my light. Top of the head. I still feel a little bit afraid. Inside corner of the eyebrow. But I'm going to let all that go now. Outside corner of the eye. I think it's okay to be seen. Under the eye. I'd like to be seen. Middle of the upper lip. What if I could just let go of all that fear? middle of the chin. I'm going to let go of a lot of it right now. Under the collarbone. Feels good to let go of fear. Under the arm. Feels good to be seen. Top of the head. I'm just going to let all that fear go right now. Okay, so take a deep breath and let it out. Now imagine yourself shining in the spotlight and being noticed by lots of people and invited to participate in all kinds of world-changing events. And how does that feel now?
Much more expansive. And you know, I also had this thought during the whole tapping thing at the moment was, if you're not being criticized, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was a good thing. It's like, okay, because if you know, yeah, so yeah, much better. Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
Sure.
So what do you guys think? I was going to ask the audience and listeners. What do you guys think? Wasn't that great? So we have some questions, and some people with their hands raised.
Okay.
Because so people want to know about money, prosperity, what's blocking them. Okay. So most people want to know about how they're being blocked. Okay, so let's go to the phone lines and take a few quick calls and see what happens, right?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go to area code 614. Hi. Allison?
Hello?
Hi, is this Allison?
Oh, hi. Hi, it's me, yeah.
Great, you have a question for
Hi.
Bernadette?
I do. I really do. So what if it's the other way? I really have enjoyed the processes so far. Thank you so much.
Great.
And what if part of my block, or what I think is my block, is the other way? Like, I'm doing well. I don't want to get too big because too big isn't like a lot of the other people who are doing what I do. You know, like I'm doing really well. So so part of it's like, oh well, don't get extravagantly, you know, big. Which is something you kind of touched on earlier.
Yeah, does that make you feel guilty or ashamed, or what does it bring up when you feel?
A little bit, yeah. It's guilt, and it's maybe guilt, or it's just it's like I'm not going to have anyone who's at my level if I get as huge as I could get. Because already when I visit with friends and things, I mean, I'm the most successful. So it's almost fear of being alone.
So you don't think there's enough successful people out there to be friends for you?
Maybe, or they're not the friends I have now. So I don't want to lose the people I love now.
Do you really think your friends are going to abandon you because you're more successful?
No, but I think I'll want to be surrounding myself with people who are challenging me. And so
it's your choice.
Yeah, I guess it's always about you, isn't it? It always comes back to you.
Right. So if you can choose to keep the friends you already have and add some new ones that are more supportive of your new lifestyle, wouldn't you choose that?
Yes.
So is there still something blocking you?
I still do feel like the people at the top might actually feel very lonely.
You mean yourself? Are you really worried about? Are you worried about Oprah and J.K. Rowling and people like that are super successful being lonely?
Well, a little bit. It seems isolating. It seems like there's a lot more company in misery.
True, but is it the kind of company you really want?
No,
Or a better question would be, do you want to continue staying in this misery? In this, you know, lower, smaller version of you?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if you could be friends with some of the most successful and influential people in the world? Wouldn't that feel like a very empowering experience?
Yes, I imagine it would.
And do you think they're wasting time feeling lonely when they're out there? I mean, like somebody like Marianne Williamson, who's out there running for Congress and giving lectures all over the place. Do you think she has time to sit around feeling lonely?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope not.
But you know, Allison,
Yeah.
and I was just gonna say, sometimes I go through that too, right? I feel lonely. It's like I'm all alone. There's nobody around me. Blah blah blah. And then, but what I'm doing brings me so much joy, right? So that loneliness sometimes it lasts for a few minutes, and then I remember what my bigger why is, like why I'm doing everything that I'm doing, and how much joy it brings me, and that loneliness goes away because I'm being a contribution in a way that I could never have been if I didn't step up and step out.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've really ever heard it like that before.
Yay!
Thank
Somebody
you.
record that. We're recording. Thank you, Allison. Great question, really. Honestly, I've been there, so I know. So yeah, good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I just laugh at myself when I have those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, so now we're going to go to San Diego, area code 619.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
Hello?
Hi, this is Mary.
Hi, Mary. You have a question for Bernadette?
Yes, thank you. I feel like, I've been a money magnet for some time, but lately I've been a massage therapist for 20 years, and I'm moving into healing work and transitioning out of massage. And I work for myself. I left a big company, and I've been fine, but lately I hurt my hand about a week and a half ago. So I'm having some fear of bringing money in. And it's like I'm slipping back into old thinking process. Can you help me to stay, that I know that I'm provided for? I mean, I know in my gut, but I don't know, my mind's starting to play with me.
Yeah, where do you think that fear is coming from?
Well, it kind of resonated a little bit earlier when Shefali said that she didn't want to be visible. So I feel like sometimes on one hand, I want to be out there helping some of the other people, and on the other hand, I feel like I want to be helped, or I just want to do nothing. So I'm not sure.
What do you mean by you want to do nothing?
Like just stay in my. I isolate. I stay in my house. My clients come to me, and I left this job where I was doing 30 massages a week. I got burnt out. I was hurt also in another place in my body. It's been over a year now, and one day, I had 5 people call me, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I woke up with this pain in my thumb, which they're calling it, I can't exactly remember, Clavier's syndrome, the little sheets of tendon in the knee, in the thumb and wrist.
Do you think it's possible that you hurt yourself because your body's trying to tell you that it needs a rest?
Well, that's just it. I feel like I've been resting from 30 massages a week to 5 a week. I mean, how much more can I rest?
I see. Well, what if you just needed to stop everything for a little while and just take some time to regroup and kind of reform your direction. Is that a possibility?
Yes, and that's what I've been getting, but I feel like I don't know what foot put in front of the other. I mean, should I start a website? Should I get a coach? Should I get a business plan? Should I, I mean, I think I'm trying to make it harder than it needs to be.
What are you trying to create? What's your ideal life that you would want to create for yourself?
Oh, turn off this stove. I just turned it on. I like to get up. I mean, I do now, and do some stretching, take my dog for a walk, and then come home, have 3 or 4 clients, go out, meet people, like-minded people, in the healing arts and heart space, which I do, and I think it's leaving some of the old people behind, like the last caller said also. So it's like a big transition, and it kind of resonated just to sit back and regroup, I guess, but I don't know where to start in the regrouping.
Do you feel like you need to bring in a good bit of money right now, or do you have a little leeway where you can play around with it?
No, I have some money. I mean, I have some cash on hand. I have a little bit in my savings. I've been, slowly but surely taking out each month to pay my mortgage. And money comes to me. I mean, someone just gave me a big amount of money for my dog because she became very ill, and they wouldn't take no for an answer. Mm-hmm. And that helped also in taking care of her because she has a blood disorder. And then someone scratched my car the other day, and I got $600, and they said, "Oh, just buff it out." I wasn't in the car. So, I mean, money comes to me in different ways. I just have this fear of moving forward. I just want to not do anything.
Can you allow yourself to just not do anything for a little while?
I guess I could.
Because if you just sit and wait and just focus on what you want to create for yourself, and then just wait for inspirations to come in. And they will. I mean, you'll get bored after a while just doing nothing, and you'll get an inspiration to do something, and follow that, and it will lead you in the direction you want to go. But the thing is, you got to start by being clear about what you want to create.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like the beginning of the year, I was all pumped up. I listened to all these teleseminars. I was taking all these notes, and now I can't write either because of I can, but very slowly, you know. So maybe I'll get a tape recorder and then just take my thoughts into that.
Yeah, and you don't even have to, it's great to be able to write things down, but the most important thing is that you just know in your mind, in your heart, that this is where I'm headed, this is what I want to create for myself. When you're really clear about it, it'll come. It's the way the universe works.
And do you think just sitting quietly will help me to do that?
What's that?
Just sitting quietly and meditating.
Doing whatever brings you joy. I mean, if there's something that you really enjoy doing, whether it's walking in the woods or hanging out with friends, just do that. Just give yourself permission to really enjoy life. And just be clear about where you want to go, and things will just fall into place.
Okay, my dear. I'll give myself permission, because I keep getting do nothing, but I'm like, I don't want to, but I feel like I need to. So I'm gonna do it. Just take a little bit of time just for me, and not worry about everything else. I know I'm provided for, and things will work out.
Everything always works out.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for that. I feel a little inspired to just be me.
Great. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
All right. We have one more caller from San Francisco. Oh, I want to go to San Francisco. Area code 415. Hello?
Is that me?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi. Who's
Yes,
this?
hi. Hi. How are you?
Great.
Thanks for taking my call. So I have done EFT before, and but I have not. I did it in a workshop, but I really don't practice it, and I'm a little bit have some similar aspects to the first caller. The thing that's been difficult for me in my life is that whenever I start to shine, there's been a lot of jealousy and competitiveness that shows up, and I'm working through a course right now called the Presence Process to start to feel those feelings and what they are, so I can integrate them. And the other part of it is I'd like to maybe use EFT to diminish some of those feelings when they start to get a bit too intense. And so it's around kind of having this feeling of whenever I want to be, start to shine and be more myself, I feel that I get jealousy and competition coming back. And the reason I'm asking right now is that I'm applying for jobs, and there's a fear I have about going back into the workforce again because I've had issues with certain bosses being jealous, and so I've had to kind of hide my light and downplay and play more of sometimes a supportive role versus being able just to kind of be free. So that's it, really.
Oh. For some reason, I can't hear you, Bernadette. Oh, there you are. No. Nope.
Are you there?
I'm here, but
Hello.
we kind of lost Bernadette for a second. Is
she back?
No, we lost her audio. Do you want to unplug that microphone and replug it back in? I'm talking to her. I mean, everybody can hear me talking. So, Bernadette, just go to... Oh, she can't hear me. I was going to say, oh, maybe she can hear me. Go to the gear and the settings again at the top. Yeah, she can hear me. We can't hear her. And then
okay.
Check microphone this time. We were doing great. There we go.
There she is.
We can hear you now. Me? Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was strange. I don't know. Okay, so what were we? Yeah, so you were feeling fear that people are going to be jealous and kind of backstabbing kind of stuff?
Yeah, be very competitive, and because I got raised by a person like that. So I got raised by someone who's very competitive and envious, and so I had to kind of play down who I was a lot. And so that's transferred. I've worked at starting companies and being out in the world, but yet still that keeps coming back. So it's something that I want to integrate or learn how to bring that fear down so it doesn't, I can let it go.
Do you want to try doing some EFT on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the karate chop point. Even though I have this fear, and repeat after me, this is going to be 3 times, we'll say this setup phrase. Are you repeating?
Yeah, I'm putting it on speakerphone so that I can not have to.
Oh, okay. And while you're doing that, where's the level on the scale of 1 to 10 of how high this fear is?
I'd say it's kind of like an 8. It's the fear of, like I said, I'm applying for jobs right now, and I just have a fear that I'm going to get into another situation where I have a boss or people that I'm working with that are that will be competitive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's just letting go of that
Okay.
feeling.
All right, so tap on the karate chop point. Even though I have this fear that people are going to be envious if I succeed.
Even though I have this fear that people are going to be envious if I succeed.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I have this fear that if I shine, it's going to backfire on me.
Even if I have this fear that I shine, it's going to backfire on me.
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I have this fear that people are going to be jealous if I succeed.
Even though I have this fear that people are going to be jealous if I succeed.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
The inside corner of the eyebrow, this deep-seated fear that people are going to be jealous of me.
This deep-seated fear that people are going to be jealous of me.
Outside corner of the eye, this feeling that I have to hide my light.
This feeling that I have to hide my light.
Under the eye, this feeling that I can't be as big as I want to be.
This feeling that I can't be as big as I want to be.
In the middle of the upper lip. It's the way I grew up.
It's the way I grew up.
Just feels normal. You don't have to repeat all these things. I'm just going to go through them and you can just tap along. It'll save time.
Okay.
In the middle of the chin, I'm really afraid that if I get a new job, people are going to be jealous and undermine me. Under the collarbone, what if I really succeeded and lost all my friends? Under the arm, what if my boss tried to undermine my work because I was so good at it? Top of the head, I'd really like to let all that fear go. Okay, now take a deep breath and let it out. And see on the scale of 1 to 10 where that fear is now.
It's like a 4.
Okay, so it's gone down a little, but what's still left there?
This feeling in my solar plexus, just kind of this tight feeling. Yeah, that's what's left.
Okay, and that's a feeling of fear about being seen and recognized for how good you are at your work?
It's fear about, it feels like fear about the unknown of like, what am I going to be stepping into? I don't know. And that's what the feeling is. It's like that unknown, like who am I going to be working with?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fear. That's the piece that's still left.
Okay, so let's tap on the inside corner of the eyebrow. This fear of the unknown, outside corner of the eye. If I take a new job, I don't know who I'm going to be working for. Under the eye, and I don't know who I'm going to be working with. Under the nose, what if I was better than all of them and they were jealous? Middle of the chin, what if I wasn't as good as they are? Under the collarbone, what if I was so good at what I did that nobody liked me? Under the arm, what if I lost all my friends because everybody thought I was too big for my britches? Top of the head, I really don't know, and it makes me feel disempowered. Inside corner of the eyebrow, it scares me to think that people might not like me. Outside corner of the eye, but I know what I can do. Under the eye, I'm a very powerful person. Under the nose, and I'm kind of afraid to express my power. In the middle of the chin, because people might judge me. They might be jealous and they might not like me. Under the collarbone, But if I don't express it, I'm not going to like myself. Under the arm, I'm going to give it a chance anyway. Top of the head. I'm just going to explore the possibilities and trust that the universe has my back. Okay, so I'll take a deep breath and let it out. And tune in on the scale of 1 to 10 and see where you are now.
I feel a lot lighter, so I'd say I'm like down to a 1. It feels a lot lighter. I don't feel that tightness in my solar plexus anymore. I feel like I can breathe.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. That part about that you mentioned that kind of just hit me was when I'm not going to like myself if I don't do it. That really hit me. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so anytime those feelings come up, you can just do the EFT again and clear it, and just keep at it until it's all gone.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Because I feel like those thoughts radiate out when I'm sending resumes out. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to send those thoughts with the resume.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Great
question.
Thank you
for calling.
All right. Great questions, absolutely. So we have some questions on the Q&A. I don't know what we can do with actual questions, but we'll see. And this person here didn't give a name. They just said, hi, there seems to be a block to having more than enough money. I seem to create only enough to get by. What else is possible? Thank you for your contribution.
Well, I think the way to deal with that one is to come up with all the reasons why you want more than enough money, because when you say enough for what? Enough to just subsist and be able to feed yourself and struggle along, or enough to be able to live a life of freedom and to be able to share and to be able to support the causes that you believe in and to be able to meet the people that you need to meet in order to shine your light in the world. So I think you need to redefine what enough means and get really clear about what you want that money for, because money likes to have a place to go. Money likes to have a reason to come into your life. So if your main mindset is, I need to make enough money to pay my rent and cover my bills and feed my children, then money's going to say, okay, I'll give you that much. But if you're like, I'm planning a trip to Europe and I really want to go and, teach children in Africa or whatever your goal is, then you'll have a place for the money to go to. So get clear about what you want the money for and how much you want, and then the money will come in a lot easier.
Great, thank you. That's a great idea. So we can just make a list of all of our, can we just say something like, okay, I'd like to have $10,000 a month or more so that I can cover all my expenses and have money for different classes and training and fun. I always put fun last. Like I should put fun first.
Yeah, that is a key, really, because money likes fun. Money likes to go. Money likes to support, you having a good time in life, and it likes to support the arts and culture and good projects and the things that you care about. So yeah, definitely put fun up there.
And then Benny says, thank you. He says, hi girls, thank you for you. I do not make any money now. How to open into money in abundance, and why did I block myself?
Just intuitively, I'm getting there's a vow of poverty in a past life. So I would just say for everybody out there, just start right now, just revoke and rescind any vows of poverty you've ever made in any lifetime, because we don't need that in this lifetime. And then just look at the way you think and feel about money. Just pay attention. I went through a process where I got out all my bills, I looked at them, anytime a negative feeling came up, I did EFT to clear the feeling. I got $100 bills, $5 bills, $1 bills, pennies, put it out in front of me, felt how I felt about it. When people gave me money, I felt how I felt about it, whether, I was like, oh no, don't give me, or if I was like, oh, thank you, it's like, pay attention to how you feel and how you react. If you have to, if you need more money and you need to ask for a raise or something, even if you're asking for a raise from the universe, pay attention to whether you feel like you deserve it or not. Because a lot of times we don't feel like we deserve to be supported by the universe. Sorry about that. That's my little computer voice. So yeah, deservability is a really, really big issue for a lot of people. We feel like we have to do something to deserve to be supported by the universe. And we need to get back to that feeling we had as little children when we were born. We felt like we deserved to be taken care of, we deserved to have food, we deserved to be kept warm and protected, and we still deserve that. We were taught that we have to work hard and earn our living and make ourselves worthwhile in some way that serves society, but in truth, we deserve to have it all without doing anything. And when we realize that, then we can do what we want, which is our real service that we came here to do. But until we realize that we deserve to be supported, we're going to be sidetracked by thinking we've got to do something that someone else wants us to do that isn't our true work. So,
good point.
And I feel like using EFT on deservability issues is really helpful also. So I really encourage people to use EFT because it's great stuff. And it speeds up the process so much and just clearing all those negative beliefs from the past.
Fantastic. So I have a question from Lori. Lori says, I lost my job back in January. I was sabotaged by some of the people who work there. I am now afraid to work again because it was such a bad experience. I live alone with no savings and am mostly living on credit. I need help with trusting that the universe has my back.
So if you can tune into some time in your life when it felt like you were supported, doesn't matter if it's from a person or a job or just some fluke where money came to you out of the blue, focus on that and just be really grateful for it, because gratitude is the biggest way to open up ourselves to receive. So if we can appreciate and feel grateful for what we have and what we got in the past and even what we hope to get in the future, that will open the door to money coming in. And again, I would use EFT to clear the fear of moving into a new job, because it's just sort of this energy that's stuck in your emotional energy field, and it's nothing real because it doesn't exist anymore. Now you're in a new moment and there is nobody sabotaging you except yourself. So just get in touch with the fact that there's millions of jobs out there. You can even create your own job where nobody's your boss. And there's infinite ways for money to come to you. And I think the key is to realize that money comes from source. It doesn't come from a job. It doesn't come from other people. And when you get in touch with that, you're just like open to which avenue is it going to come to me through, because it's coming from the universal source. And you're just opening doors by having a job or meeting someone that might give you money. So look at it that way, and again, use EFT to clear those fears.
Great, thank you. Yeah, good point. And what Bernadette just said about money abundance comes from source. You know, the job or the business or anything else are just avenues that the money or prosperity abundance can flow to you. I like that. Wow. You know, when you said that, I had this huge energy shift for me. It's like, it's true. So, and gratitude, absolutely. You know, this morning I was meditating, and, you know, I was grateful for doesn't really matter what you're grateful for, but in that moment, I took the time to be grateful for all of my guides, angels, archangels, and so on and so forth, plus all of my listeners, like you guys, all of my speakers, all my friends, everybody, and I sent them all, love and joy and gratitude, and it felt so good, and I have this website, Facebook page called Access Your Joy, where I just post something about gratitude, just because I know how important being grateful is, and sometimes we forget. So that's why I have that one where I post something every day, just to keep it in our minds, right? And Mary, I guess she had posted this earlier before she came on the line, if it's the same Mary, and she said, "Thank you. I had the same issue, the one that I had, and it dropped from 8 to 3." So that's wonderful that even in a 1 hour session with Bernadette here, she did this EFT, and it's already shifted for many of us. So like, yay, wonderful.
Yeah. Great.
It can be that easy. Okay, so let me see what else.
That's the thing. It is easy. I mean, life is supposed to be easy. Life is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be this hard work and struggle.
Absolutely, I agree. So I have a question on the Hangout Q&A from Marcus, and Marcus is saying, "What is blocking me from money, Bernadette, and how can I shift it?"
Well, that's hard to answer with just that much information, but most likely it's feeling you don't deserve it. I mean, that's usually what it comes down to. Everyone on this planet has some degree of feeling that there's something wrong, that we're not good enough or we're not lovable, and that's the bottom line for every issue that we've got in our lives. So clearing that, finding a way to love yourself completely just the way you are, is going to open the door to bring in money, love, friends, everything you could possibly want. That's what it's all about. That's the bottom line. So learn how to love yourself. Just appreciate everything about yourself, even if you don't think you like it. We've got to learn how to accept our weirdness and our flaws and our just everything, especially the things we don't like about ourselves, the things that we try to hide from everyone else. Those are the things that are keeping us stuck in lack and limitation. So that's my advice.
Just be yourself and have fun.
Right.
So I have a question or a comment from Silver Music 68 on the Q&A here, and they say, let me read that again. "I'm able to manifest abundance in some way for me and my family, and I'm grateful for that. It tends to be random, though, and not in the area that I need, and wondering how I can channel it directly to those areas, example, outstanding bill balances." Good question.
I'm not sure I understand the question. How to direct money to paying your bills, basically? I mean...
Yeah, pretty much. So,
okay.
I know for myself, for example, I've said this in the past on different shows, and that I have abundance in a lot of different areas, but not all areas, right? So, for example, I have an abundance of love, right? I have an abundance of, I could even say clutter in my house, right? That's an abundance of something. I'm joking, and I have abundance of crystals. I have an abundance of crystals in my house and stones, but I don't have an abundance of money to pay outstanding bill balances. So I think that might be what they're saying.
So yeah, that's specifically about your relationship with money, because sometimes we let in abundance in some areas, but we don't believe we deserve to have it in money because we've had these blocks about money's not spiritual, money's the root of all evil, money, I worked with a money coach one time, Morgana Ray, who's really good. She has this whole process of going through, writing down everything you ever heard that's negative about money, and then she tells you to imagine that as a person, and she calls that your money monster. and then she says, fire that guy or gal, whatever it is, and then write down everything positive you can think of about money, all the wonderful things you could do with it, all the positive aspects of money, and visualize that as the person that you're in relationship with as your money honey, she calls it. And that was really helpful to just go through and see all these ridiculous negative ideas that I had in my mind that I'd heard from people that I collected over the years. And when you start to notice those, you can, sometimes just seeing them, you just immediately can let go of them because you realize they're ridiculous. But, if they're deep-seated, you can use EFT to clear them. Or sometimes just being with them and talking, logically, like, well, that doesn't make any sense because such and such. So getting really clear about all the negative beliefs you have about money is really important to start with, because then once you can clear those, you have the foundation to create positive beliefs about money. And money, it doesn't even really exist. It's just an energy that we've all agreed exists. And so you can type in some letters on your keyboard and transfer money from one account to another, and it's just like this energy moving around. So if we align ourselves with that and feel like there's nothing bad about it, it's just energy that we're channeling toward our bills or toward something else, then there's no reason to resist it. So yeah, I would just say, ferret out all those negative beliefs you have that are blocking you from bringing in money, and then replace them with positive beliefs, and look at all the positive things you could do. I mean, imagine how we could feed everyone in the world, and we could clean up the environment, and we could create beautiful works of art and all kinds of wonderful things with money. And that's the positive side of money. So focus on that and get rid of those negative beliefs.
So they have a follow-up comment. They said, I just can't seem to be able to pay the balances off, but we'll have other things come in that I don't necessarily need. Hope that clarifies. So I think it still has to do with that belief system that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, sometimes we put a ceiling on our ability to bring in money. And, it's like, yeah, I'm willing to accept enough money to excuse me, pay this much off of my balance, but I'm always going to keep myself at this level where, I don't feel like I'm thriving, but I'm just surviving. A lot of people have that thing where, I don't really need to pay those bills off because I can afford to pay the monthly payment on them or something like that. And you just need to get really clear about, I don't need that in my life anymore. I want to have the freedom to just have as much money as I want to do what I need to do, to take whatever workshop I want to take, or, support whatever causes I want to support. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a combination of clearing out the negative and bringing in the positive. So when you get those negative beliefs out of your mind, and then you focus on something positive that you want to do with the money, then it shifts it so that it comes in and you can pay off your bills, and you can, and don't get attached to the whole paying off the bills thing, because as long as you're thriving, it doesn't matter if you've got bills to pay, you just pay them. And, if you stop paying attention to them, eventually they go away, but if you keep focusing on them, you're telling the universe, I want to have these bills because I like to pay attention to them,
Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, good point. If you focus only on just those bill balances, then you're going to continue getting more and more bill balances.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Even if you focus on them, you don't have to focus only on them, but if you're focusing on them at all, instead of just when they come in, you pay them. But if you're worrying about them any other time than that, then you're focusing on them and attracting more bills. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so last question we have from Benny, and it's a good one because I was going to say this too. And Benny said, "How could I clear the vow of poverty? What should I say?" And I guess it's the one that you had said earlier, but you were pretty quick, so it's like maybe people missed it.
Yeah, a lot of people in past lives were nuns and monks and priests and people who took a vow of poverty. Mm-hmm. So that energy can still linger on in this life. So if you just decide, you don't have to really say anything. It's just intention. But if you want to, you could create a little ceremony where you could write down, I took this vow of poverty in the past and I now rescind it in whatever words you wanted to say, but just so it means something to you. And then you could do something like burn it in a candle flame or flush it down the toilet or whatever. Feels like a ritual that would tell your subconscious mind that you no longer want to keep this vow of poverty. You're now breaking it, and now you're going to allow money to come in because you need it in this life. And in the way our world is set up today, we're not supported by the community if we take a vow of poverty anymore, so we need to be able to bring in money.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah, in this 3D world, we need money to survive and thrive. Everything does revolve around money, and some people don't like to hear that. But you can do more with money, with more money that you have, than with less money.
Right.
You know, so let's be honest about that. I could do way more if I had way more money. I could hire more people, and I could do more shows or more live events or more of everything that I'd like to do if I had more money. If I have less, then I can't contribute as much. I can't really be expressing everything that I want to express. And I'm saying me in this case, but everybody, it's the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
So, yes, it's important.
That's what we need to remember, is that money is not this thing that big corporations have and people who rip off the environment and exploit people. Money is a tool that we can use to make the world a better place. And if it's in our hands, we're going to use it in a good way. We're not going to use it to destroy the water and create sweatshops and all these horrible things that we think of when we think of these big corporations.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we should talk about your special offer, because I know that there's probably a lot of stuff covered in that. So it's at activateyourabundance.com/Bernadette. I think it's here. You can see the link here. There it is, activateyourabundance.com/Bernadette. I'm just going to open it on my screen too, if I can. I have to spell it. All right.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Yeah. So I set up this 6-week program to help people clear their money issues and activate the abundance in their lives, basically. So it comes with a free copy of my ebook, my Money Magic 90 Days to Prosperity in Your Hands, and then also daily prosperity tips for 6 weeks, and then a weekly abundance exercise. It's a more in-depth exercise to clear your negative beliefs and bring in positive beliefs. And then you can either choose 2 one-on-one live coaching sessions with me or 1 coaching session with me. So there's 2 options. The one with 2 sessions is only $147, and I usually charge about that much just for 1 coaching session. And then the 1 coaching session option is only $97. So it's a really good deal if you want to have a coaching session, and also you get 2 coaching sessions, sorry. So if you want to get 1 or 2 coaching sessions, they're both a really good value, and also you'll be getting the step-by-step process to help clear your own abundance issues in the email. So do you have any questions about that?
Do I have any? No, it sounds, I love it when things are really straightforward. I love, and during the 6 weeks, so do you give people, because I have a real issue with this, okay? I have an issue, and I hate saying stuff like that, but whatever. Oh, I can't find my mouse. Where's my cursor? Damn it. I have an issue with, like when you're doing EFT, I don't know what to say. And maybe other people are like, I don't know what to say, so it's like,
right.
As I'm tapping, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So do you coach people on that during those 6 weeks? About what they should be saying?
We'll have some EFT. You can do it in your live coaching sessions if you want, or and I will have step-by-step tapping points to use in the emails.
Perfect.
So, yeah. You'll get really good at EFT.
Sorry?
I said you'll get really good at EFT.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, I hear about EFT all the time, and I hear it works fabulously, and now obviously we've seen it today on the show that it worked fabulously. And you know, I had Brad Yates on one of the seasons, I forget which one, first or second, and he was great, you know, it was fantastic. But then it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to ask or say.
The way to do that is just to listen to your mind chatter, because you have thoughts about money all the time,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to tap on, and just use the way you talk about it to yourself. You know, just use those things. Even though I feel like I don't have enough money and I can't pay this bill, you know, whatever the things that are
Mm-hmm.
going on in your mind, just tap on that, and those are the things to say. You know, I just listen to what people say when they're talking about money, and then I throw that stuff in there, and I have my own intuitive hits that I throw in. But
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, it looks really easy. That was so
yeah,
easy and so quick. You know, like 5 minutes, not even, right? So
right.
yeah, that was great. Okay, let me just double check and see if there's any other questions. Oh, Benny says thank you immensely. Thank you, Benny.
You're welcome.
And let me just check on this Q&A here as well, if there's any other questions, comments. Okay, so we're good. So Bernadette's special offer is available at activateyourabundance.com/Bernadette, BERNADETTE. So that's activateyourabundance.com/Bernadette. If it resonates with you, take a look and see how you can start tapping tapping away those money and prosperity issues. Right?
Great. Yeah. I hope
Great, thank
everybody.
you.
I want all you light workers out there to have lots of money to spend to make the world a better place.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you, Bernadette. Thank you to our callers who called in today. Thank you to the people who submitted questions on ITS and the Hangout. So thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Tapping is so easy. We're going to have to do more of this tapping. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you, Bernadette.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be here.
It was fun.